concern is that you were wanting to jump up instantly and change that measurement. Well, that can be great in some instances. If we have that defined roof, like our little offset on the previous roof that we had, we can do that without a problem. But if we are pulling a roof out, and everyone's eyes up here for me, I'm going to delete this roof. If I'm going in and I'm going to set that roof base, I'm going to break, I'm going to pull it out. If I jump up here instantly and tell it that I want it to go 18, what does it do?
Yeah.
From the center out, it changes that measurement. So what is the first thing I have to do before I change that measurement when I'm sharing that roof line?
You're saying pull it. You told me to pull it somewhere, but.
So which direction would I pull it? I have to define which direction, correct?
Right. How do you do that?
I highlight that roof and I grab that handle and I bump it in the direction I need it to move. I have to give it direction. The minute I give it direction and I go in and put my 18, it works beautifully for me. It's very happy, absolutely. And at that point then, I can go in and I can set my measurement. What was that supposed to be? 4, thank you. Then I can go in at that point, once I've done everything, and I can change it to my gable. I got everything done that I needed to. I had that roof placed. I had it measured. Now all I had to do is change the top. But if I don't give it the direction of movement, and you guys got to remember that, direction of movement, then it's going to go from the center out. And then you're going to want to pick up that roof and you're going to want to try to align it. No, don't be doing that. You're going to have difficulties doing it. But quite a few of you were doing that. So you have to remember, give it the defined area of direction that it needs to go. It's really no different than a room, is it? I don't think it is. Let's look at a room real quick. I'll plop my broom down. What happens when I bump slightly on this handle? What is it indicating? We saw this the first day. It's telling me the direction that the measurement's going to move. I just can't see that in the roof, can I? I have to give it that direction. If I have an additional room, and I come in here and I say, oh man, that's not right. I'm going to bump my handle. What is it telling me? It's telling me that I have two options. I can either change this one, which is going to change the room next to it, or I can change this one and it's going to push that direction, which is going to change the measurement of that room. So everything has to be defined. You have to be able to tell the system what to do. Otherwise, center out on roofs and rooms. Good luck if you didn't put your measurement in right the first time and you've added all your other rooms. It creates chaos, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Any questions on that? How did everyone like that roof?
Great.
Easy, hard, come
That was
on.
good. That was a
Easy?
good one, yeah.
Easy once you understand the process.
Yes.
How many of you actually made that error of hitting that measurement, grabbing that measurement? It is so easy to want to do because in the rooms, boy, we use that control, bam, we go to the measurement, don't we? But we had a little bit of a difference here, didn't we? The other thing I just want to review before we go further, I want to talk about the brake tool. I can use that brake to just change a shape, can I not? Just like I did in a room, right? Side by side, very easy comparison. Both work the same way. When am I going to place and drag?
You try to add.
Well, when I'm trying to add, but what's the difference?
It's not on the edge.
I don't have to use, what?
You said place and drag when, like, as far as the break when it's not on the edge?
It's not on the edge. You are so right. I needed to continue my roof line. I didn't need there to be a break. Is there any stationary roof over here that didn't move? No, because it's on the edge, right? Same thing with the room. Straight edge. I'm sharing that wall all the way down, right? So I didn't have to give it a defined area where I have stationary non-movement on each side. So if I take that break tool and I want to define an area, whether I use control or not, does it work the same way?
Oh, it does, yeah.
Absolutely it does.
So when you do the break, you don't have to do the control when you lift it up.
The
when you do
control
the-
means
The double break.
adding additional like kind. You're adding something that's like what you're bringing it off of or what you're pulling it off of.
Okay.
The biggest thing is to remember that you don't have to worry about what type of brake to use if you understand the definition of a single brake versus a double brake. And your place and drag is a double brake, which tells you I have an area in between these two hard brakes that I need to do something with. Because otherwise, if it needs to be on the edge, is there any reason for me to have put a double brake in there? No, not at all. Because my single brake is when I just place it. And then I have the option of one side or the other. That's the difference between your single brake and your double brake. Everyone understand? The roof that we did this morning when we did our offset, what type of brake did we use? We used a double brake, absolutely. On the exercise you just did, what type of brake did we use? Single, every single time. Why? We were continuing that roof line, weren't we? Without any type of a brake in it. Absolutely. Does that help a little bit more for definition purposes? Great. So how many of you were up for the challenge and moved ahead to 107?
5 minutes.
I'm just asking, how many of you did it? Did you struggle with it, or did you start understanding how it works? The understanding's coming, isn't it? Repetition, repetition, repetition. And one of the things in that exercise is part of what we did yesterday when we went in and we were talking about what side of the ridge would we break something on if we wanted to share a slope. That's what that exercise is all about. So for those of you who are skewing on your pad, I'd like for you just to go ahead and save and exit. And that's probably just about everybody. And let's set up a new file to work in. I'm going to call mine roofs. I want to be able to throw a few up there. And I am really emphasizing the roofs because it is so important. I can assure you, if you have a cut up, convoluted roof, Xact, of course, has an incredible partnership with Geomni Roof that you can pull information in. Crawford does not utilize that yet, but they do buy from a different vendor, Eagle View. And for people who are out in the field, if you have a cut up, convoluted, hard to measure, hard to draw roof, your manager more than likely will approve an Eagle View for use. I don't want to spend 4 hours up on a roof trying to figure out where the main is. Some of these have 30, 40, 50 faces on them. You saw your F1, F2, F3. My roof at home has 43 faces. No, I don't draw it. I Eagle View it. They can get convoluted. It's all about you having the best time management, or the adjuster in the field having the best time management, using available resources that are available, and making sure that you are writing a very good fake estimate. You can't do that if you're doing one a day for 6 months, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and go into, make sure you have a price list in here. And then let's just hop over to Sketch.
Oh, wait a minute.
Now, oddly enough, there will be some of you that walk away from this class saying, roofs are my favorite thing to do, because you get it. And then you begin to play with it. And then you create these monstrous things and look at them in 3D and then show everyone you know, isn't this cool? Isn't this cool? Others of you will say, I'll stick to the rooms. But you still have to know the premise of the base of the roof, do you not? All right, so if we look at page 107, do I have a volunteer that would like to come up and draw for me? Says, Akita, I think you want to. Because you understand it.
I didn't tell you that out loud.
Out loud. We're all gonna help her, okay? And we're gonna talk it through as we go.
Okay, so you don't want us to work on it then, right?
Go ahead, start with your 45.
Oh, you ain't got
So-
no glasses?
I want everyone to look at what your main roof measurement is. The book tells us, what does it say? Help her out.
45 by 32.
45 by 32.
You can see this?
No, honey, all you gotta do is scroll it.
No, you can see this screen.
I have not put my glasses on once. Have y'all noticed that? I told you, I'm retraining the eyes.
Okay.
You may be lying to me, but I'm retraining. So she's setting her 45 and her 32. Just walk them through it, talk them through them, and tell them why you're placing your brake where you're placing it.
Whoa, wait.
Come
You-
on,
I
girl.
don't want to give instructions.
So what's the first thing we're gonna do?
Place the brake
Place the brake. Where are you placing the brake?
in the back slope
Back slope, why?
because that's where the shared slope is.
That's where the shared slope is, absolutely.
Wait a minute.
You have to hold down control.
What I did.
You just pulled it out before you hit control.
Okay.
It was 45 by
Starting on the
32.
wrong side.
Yeah, wait a minute.
No, I just need to see.
Let her keep working, let her keep working, everyone just watch.
Okay.
Highlight the roof.
I need to make this, why does that look as?
Did you lose the size of your roof?
It look like it.
So we're probably gonna have to go more, we're gonna see you just pull it down. Pull it down. Did everyone just see what she did? She didn't have one of the measurements that disappeared. So what did she have to do? She grabbed the handle, she highlighted the main roof, she grabbed the bottom handle to give it direction, and then she gave it the measurement. So did it go outward both sides? No, it only came down. She has got it going. She understands which one to pull, which handle to pull. She's doing the same thing on the other side, is she not?
Yeah. getting that on you. Oh, I need to change the slope
Go ahead and,
on this.
lasso the whole
I
thing.
just remembered that.
So she forgot to change the slope, to set the slope. So she's gonna lasso her roof, go to her property. And she's gonna go down now and change all of those together. Up a little bit.
18.
You see her bump it out? What type of brake is she using? Absolutely.
I haven't paid.
Now, before you hit enter, why is she able at this point just to drop down to that measurement and change it? What did we just talk about?
Still accurate.
It's in the center, isn't it? So that means once she changes it, and it has room on both sides to extend to the correct measurement. Did everyone just witness how quick she was able to do that?
Sometimes. No, I know that was not the right answer.
That is a beautiful thing.
Anything for the team.
Once you understand, now listen, my understanding is Zakita didn't know how to do this before she came to the class, right? But she was able to understand when to use the brake, how to use the brake, what handle to grab. It's all about getting that part of the mind moving. It's very mechanical. And once you have it, you're going to have it. So my encouragement to you is, again, master one thing. Master that brake if it's what you need to master. Master holding down control if that's what you need to master. If I'm going to add an additional roof, am I going to hold control before I even choose my brake? No. Wouldn't do me any good, would it? I've got to brake the way I need to brake, pull it out, give it direction. It's all methodical, all methodical. I'm impressed with how quick she got that done. Very impressed with it. She did a great job. All right, so what I would like for you to do we need to do it together?
Yes.
Don't tell her I deleted her roof. What's the first thing we're going to do?
Drop the rope.
And again, the book has already told us what our measurements are, right?
Yes. She deleted it. Thank you.
And what is our slope supposed to be? 8. So let's go ahead and get that set. So I have my 45 by 32 main gable.
Hold on. Oh, 8.
Everyone have a 45 by 32?
Yeah.
Did you set it to 8? Awesome. Let's move on. What's the first thing? I'm going to work over here to the left. So what do I need to do to be able to add the other gable? First thing I need to do,
Great.
I need to break. Absolutely. Am I going to do a single or a double break?
Single.
Single. Why?
Because it's shared.
I'm sharing a slope. Am I sharing the front slope or the rear slope? This being the front, this being the rear. Rear. What side do I put that break on? On the left, above or below the ridge line? Above. Why?
Shared.
It is shared, absolutely. I'm going to bump it down to give it my 22.
Hold on. Up and down.
I have to give direction. And guys, listen, when I say bump, I'm not just talking about clicking onto the handle, which turns everything blue. I'm talking about clicking that handle and giving it a movement. Okay? Gonna do the same thing. Hold on.
Why is it not letting me put enough?
Did it go out like this again? Did anyone do that? Did anyone grab that number before you actually move the handle?
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
My line at the top is not lining up.
Change your slope.
Yeah, she told me to change
All right,
it.
so here's what I want you to do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit break. I'm going to place my brake. Okay, that's as far as I want you to get.
Okay, let me delete that. Hold on. Wait a minute.
I have a single brake right here.
Something else is funny going on here. Okay, so I'm right there, but
Now I'm going to hold down control and I'm going to pull that additional roof out.
okay, I'll pull it out.
While it's active, I'm going to go ahead and change how far that roof comes out because I'm not changing anything about this roof line yet, correct? So I'm going to take advantage of that. Type in my 20.
Right.
I want you to get that far.
There, but is it?
Then I'm going to highlight that roof. Why? I need to see all of my handles, right? Which direction do I want this roof to move?
Down.
Down, absolutely. So I'm going to grab it and I'm going to pull it down. At that point, I can go in and give it the 22. Did it interrupt my roof line up here? No. What was the secret? Bumping it down, grabbing that handle and moving it down, giving it the direction it needed to flow, right? Does everyone have this?
Where it says the 6 and the 5 feet under where the alligator is. Like,
It
you
was just,
lost-
it's just talking about this connection right here.
All right, mine didn't match what you had up there.
Are you at 22?
22
Did you
and
set
20.
it at an 8 slope?
Oh,
Did you set your slope to 8?
that's it.
So lasso the whole thing for me and make sure that you change everything to 8. Is everyone here now? Okay, for those of you who are, can you offer a little assistance to those who are not?
Who's not?
And it's 45 by 32. And let me see what the slope is. Well, we had changed those to 8.
That's because we didn't set properties, you set it in your properties. Right.
All the properties, they go down to. Yeah, but go down, see what's supposed to be, go down to 80, it says 80, yeah, go down. There it is.
Oh, it changes.
Okay, is everyone here? Let's keep it down to a minimum. Thank you for helping your neighbor. You hit the measurement again before you actually pulled it down. It's the only way that it can go up that way. So we're gonna hit our break. In place, we're gonna control. Go ahead and pull it out for me. Okay, release. Click onto that 13.
Like little numbers right there in the middle. I forgot.
No, that's 29, could be 20, just 20, no comma. No comma. Okay, now highlight that roof. Grab that bottom handle, pull down, just pull down, there you go. Pull it. Drop it, click onto that 20.5. And change that to 22.
How do we get rid of the additional, like if you have additional numbers on there or different additional metrics, like I noticed you don't have.
Okay, so if you don't want all your measurements to show, is what you're saying, right click in the, everyone keep it down. Good question. How do we get rid of the measurements if we don't want all of them to show? We're going to right click in the white abyss and we're going to go to view properties.
Okay.
Under view properties, you will turn that measurement off.
I want some of them, I just don't want the ones in the middle. I know you don't have those in there. You know what I mean?
You either have all measurements or you have only the immediate ones you're dealing with.
Okay.
So I'll take a look at it.
Okay.
The other thing that everyone keeps asking me is that font size. We actually set that on day one, and some of you are unable to do that. You can do that from this property right here. If you need the font to be larger, then you can go ahead and change it. Yours is coming in as a default of 10. You can change it right here. All right, so is everyone with me? I need name tags turned up on the side if you have this done, please. Name tags up on the side, thank you. Brandon, you have it? Okay, so yours did the same thing. Go ahead and put me a break in. Great. Hold down control, pull it out. Great, drop it. Highlight that, or highlight your 16.1. Go ahead and change that to 20 for me. I told you I was going to go ahead and capture that. Go ahead and do it. Now highlight that roof. Now grab the bottom handle and start pulling it down. You're giving it the direction. Now you can click onto that 1410 and you can change that to 22. Okay, so it's all about making sure that you pull that handle to give that direction. Okay. Is everyone there? I have one name. Sheila, you got it? Great. Let's move on. Next side, I'm going to go over to the other side. I'm going to use my brake tool. Yes or no? Great. Where am I going to place it? To the right? Above or below that ridge line?
Above.
Above and why?
Because it's shared that.
It's a shared slope. I'm going to pull out and drop. Am I going to try to get that measurement exact? No, because I can change it. I'm going to come down to where it says my 16.7. I'm going to change that to the 22. Everyone there? Let's go ahead and click onto that roof so we can see all of our handles. This is so important to do. Once you can see all of those handles, I want you to grab that bottom handle and pull down to give direction. Then you can come over to your span and change that to 24.
I'm gonna get the FA part in mind.
Don't worry about the face counts right now.
Okay.
Making sense?
Yes.
What's next? Let's do that entry. Everyone ready for the entry? Great. What am I going to do to get a roof here in the middle?
Double break.
Double break. How do I do a double break? Lace and drag. Gloria, it's so good to hear you say that.
I'm glad too.
And then we're going to hold down control and pull it down.
In the middle.
The main thing now, honestly, I could have hit either one of these measurements. It's not going to matter which one I hit first. I have a tendency for myself to always change how far something comes out. But because it's in the middle, does it matter if I jump down here first?
Yeah.
No. I will say this. If you get used to doing the pull out first, it will prevent you from jumping up and grabbing that measurement when you have an extended roof line and changing that one first. Be methodical in how you do it. Then I can click onto that roof and change it to my 25. Oh, 56. So does everyone understand what I just said about changing the measurement when you're pulling it out first? If you get into that habit, for those of you who are used to going in and just grabbing the span measurement, pull out, set that one first, highlight that roof, find those handles, then make sure you pull directional wise if you need to. Okay? Great, Lori, sounds good. Oh, say.
Hey, Lori.
Hey,
The box,
Nicole.
box to the left, the first one we did, it came out first, right at first, but now, and I didn't touch it again. Something happened where it's kind of jutted over and it's got like a little piece of it. Do I just bring?
Do you have a touch screen?
No.
I'll take a look at it in a moment.
If
If you have a touch screen, they are sensitive. I'm just
I
gonna
don't
say
have
that. I turn mine off when I'm in Sketch. All right, let's do the last roof that we have. We have our north gable. What am I going to do? Break. What kind of break? Single break, absolutely. Which side of that break am I going to pull on? The left. What do I do first? Control. You guys got it.
I did a double break
Why'd you do a double?
because it was a target area, so I just did double break.
But remember, we're actually pulling along that roof line.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I'm sitting at 17.4. That could be a problem if I just jumped up there and changed it, couldn't it? Sure could. What's going to happen if I do? It's going to overextend. So I'm going to highlight that roof and I'm going to grab that right handle and I'm going to move it to give it direction. And then I'm going to put my measurement in. See, you guys, you got it. It's repetitive, repetitive, repetitive. You understand the philosophy behind it. Do you guys realize how many roofs you've built? We'll do that last one. Absolutely. My pleasure to do it. I'm going to use my brake. I'm going to give it a single brake. There's my single brake. I'm going to hold down control, grab, pull up. The first thing I change is how far it pulls out. So I'm going to click over since it's highlighted in blue, and I'm going to change it to my 4. Then I'm going to highlight that roof so that I can see all handles. When I can see all those handles, I know I need to grab the right handle, move it, bumping it to the right, to what? Give direction. Then I can come up and I can type in my 18. Everyone understands? Who's still struggling just a little?
Just a little. Don't worry about it though. I'm good.
Brandon, did you get it?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Who else? How are you doing there, Miss Sheila?
I'm gonna catch you up, so you won't be behind.
Click. It's really important sometimes, and you don't double click. If you click on that name, it will highlight that room. Right. That's exactly. So see, now that you're recognizing that, that's good. So grab this handle and move it over. You have to be directed now, drop it and change it. And you won't have any problems with it. There you go. Perfect. Feeling more confident?
Yes.
Yes, I have one person who's feeling confident. How about everyone else? You guys feeling confident about this? It's starting to make sense and tie in, isn't it? Absolutely. All right, guys, so here's the deal. You've been working hard. You've got those roofs down. I'm going to let you break for lunch. When we come back, we are going to estimate using Sketch, called graphical estimation. So we're going to get into that. I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to show you how you can do partial repairs versus a full repair. We're going to go through that. We're going to run an estimate using Sketch without getting out of it. And then we're going to jump over to our quick entry and add a few things in addition to. Sound good? We are going to use some variables. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. It is 11:26. I say 12:30. That gives you 4 extra